SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
At Community Bank, we're more than a place to manage your money. We're your neighbors and trusted financial advisors. For decades, we've helped families, small businesses, and individuals achieve their dreams. We're dedicated to your success every step of the way. Community Bank, member FDIC.
Pike County, here comes your morning show. Dave in the morning on 93.5 FM, SuperTalk Mississippi.
So now, understand, you're not going to dictate to me what I do and what I don't do, but I'm still the mayor, Mr. Brown.
None of this meeting is recorded. None by any parties. Correct?
No, sir, nothing is recorded. I'm being accused.
Any conversation.
Said I want to make it on record. I want the allegations in writing, or the accused, or on recording of this harassment.
And now, here's your host, Dave Hughes.
Well, top of the morning to you. Blow through this show as quickly as we can, not because I don't enjoy spending time with you, I do, but because I've got a fresh king cake at the house. Priorities. You didn't have time this morning. I had originally thought I was going to have some for breakfast. Today, of course, officially the first day you are quote-unquote allowed the king cake. Ask anybody from South Louisiana. Three Kings Day. This is supposedly the day that the three wise men showed up to bring the gifts to Jesus. It's also the start of Mardi Gras season. Eat a king cake on the 5th, and well, there's some people that'll just whoop you down. So I have priorities in my mind as partially elsewhere right now because it's a cream cheese king cake. It's, yeah. It's going to be a good day at the old Hughes compound, I'm telling you. Might as well enjoy them while we can. Today is Tuesday. By Friday, we have a chance for it to get loud outside. On the bright side, maybe, I'm not going to guarantee this, but maybe we'll get enough rain to do away with the horrific dryness that has led to Bernie problems. No, not Sanders. Roaring flames. We've been dealing with that. We talked about it yesterday. I would like to continue to remind you, don't set anything on fire. You wouldn't think that's advice that would have to be given, but it is. On this planet, oh yeah. Cloudy skies today, high up near 80. Going to get down to 60 tonight. Tomorrow, not bad, really. Be a little foggy in the beginning, then sunny with a high right back up near 80. Low tomorrow night, right around 60. And then we start easing into the rain. 20% chance of rain for Thursday afternoon. A 50% chance Thursday night. And then a 70% chance on Friday. Changing into a 60% chance by Friday night. But Friday afternoon is really what we're looking at, maybe an hour or two before noon. But Friday afternoon, we have a chance for some severe weather. It's a slight chance for us. We're right on the edge of the worst area forecast-wise in terms of intensity as this front makes its way through the area. Now, when you see an alert When you see a forecast saying we've got a chance for some really severe energetic weather, you know for a fact there's going to be a huge temperature differential. That's what generates the energy. That's what stirs up the atmosphere and gives us all of the weather unrest, if you will. I told you today, high near 80. Tomorrow, high near 80. Thursday, high near 80. Friday, high near 80 as that front comes through. Saturday, high of 58. Sunday, a high of 54. By Sunday night, we'll be down to freezing for a low. That's from high to low from Friday to Sunday. The high Friday to the low Sunday night, we're looking at a 48-degree difference. That's to keep your jacket handy. You're going to get to use it again here in Southwest Mississippi, but there is a possibility that it could get loud on Friday. I really don't like to point this out, but I think I have to. Friday is January 9th. January 10th, 1975 should have proven to all of us in Pike County that you can have a pretty significant storm in the first part of January. We learned that the hard way, didn't we? So don't blow it off. Like I said, we're not, a lot of times when they draw up the maps and they put out the forecast areas, especially for severe weather, we're right smack dab in the middle. There's no getting out. We're right on the southeastern edge of the worst area, forecast-wise, for the possibility of severe weather for Friday. We're not in the clear, but we're not in the bullseye either. All of this, I want to make sure that we all are on the same page here. All of this means absolutely nothing. Whatever's going to happen will happen. I just think I'm just glad it's not on Saturday, because on January 10th, we're not looking for that kind of throwback Saturday. It's close enough, day before January 9th. So we're going to keep an eye on that weather throughout the week. We don't want anything to happen on the anniversary of the McComb tornado in 75. We'd really rather not. Thank you. Still have vivid memories of that. I'd rather not, to be honest. But just keep in mind, there is a chance. Now, notice it's not even a 100% chance of rain. It's a 70% chance of rain on Friday. That's as high as it gets. Drop down to a 60% for Friday night. Slight chance of showers the rest of the weekend through late Sunday afternoon. And then we'll be back to sunny skies on Monday with a high of 56. But just keep your eyes peeled. Or your ears. You might hear it coming. So what happened with my parents back in 75? They thought they were hearing trains from the train yard. That was not trains, by the way. As it turns out, that was not a train they were hearing. But just keep an eye on it. Make sure we pay attention. It just makes me nervous with it being right there at the anniversary. There is no logical reason why that should make it something that inspires a worse case of nerves than usual. But we quit being a logical race of creatures scurrying about on the surface of this mud ball quite a bit ago. So you just kind of have to roll with it. But just wanted to point out that connection as the forecast firms up and we come to realize, there's a chance we could have some rough stuff on Friday. And that applies not just here in Pike County and in Southwest Mississippi, but basically all over the state. The eastern, I'd say fifth of the state, doesn't look to have many problems on Friday, weather-wise. But it's still a significant portion of the state. So going to have to keep an eye on this and watch out for it on Friday. We'll keep you updated, and of course I'll be in the chair for mornings on Friday morning, and we'll take a better look at it then and kind of dig down and see exactly what's going to happen where and what the timing might be as well as this frontal system pushes in this direction. All we know for sure is I hope you have laundered your long johns. It's going to be chilly after it passes through. If you haven't laundered your long johns, what's wrong with you? You got all sorts of funk in there. Gotta swish that around for a bit. Some detergent is not out of the question either. When we come back, several news stories to talk about, and a great example of what you and I have discussed before regarding what happens when we live in a world where everything is designed to try to tick you off or scare you. Got a great example of what that leads to in Georgia. We'll talk about that before we're done. Keep it here, my friend.
Every now and then, we remind all of you loving, awesome, hardworking husbands that you have a premium it's time to renew. No, it's not life insurance, car insurance, or health insurance. It's way more important than those. I'm Kristen. Gentlemen, it's time to renew those long-term wife insurance policies. When you surprise her with a gift from Selmans, you remind her that no matter what lies ahead, you and she will get through it together. Your gift tells her this long-term wife insurance policy is for life. Renew your long-term wife insurance policy right here at Selmans. We're in it for the long term with you.
Ladies, your health is your priority, and the Women's Health Center in McComb is here to support you. We're thrilled to announce the return of Dr. Ann Vu. Dr. Vu joins our dedicated team, including Dr. Kevin Richardson, nurse practitioner Shayla Stanberry, and midwife Tara Givens. From routine checkups to specialized care, we offer comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Schedule your appointment today. Visit us at 1318 Harrison Avenue or call 601-684-2300. The Women's Health Center, where your well-being comes first.
Don't miss Dave in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. Super Talk 93.5 is always the place to be. Want to get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all around, it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Weekday mornings at 6 after 9 on 93.5 FM, or you can catch up anytime by going to
SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave in the morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. Catch up and catch on.
Easy lover, she'll get a hold on you, believe it. Like no other, before you know it, you'll be on your knees. She's an easy lover, she'll take your heart, but you won't feel it. She's like no other, and I'm just trying to make you see. She's the kind of girl you dream of keeping hold of. Better forget
One final weather note, and then we'll move on.
you'll never get it.
The Euro AIFS Ensemble. It's a forecast model for weather. Is forecasting a big blast of snow in a couple of weeks. January 19th and 20th. Talking about the top part of the state of Mississippi getting between 7 and 20 inches. I'm not sure I buy it. That's just one model. Nobody else is really in agreement with it. It can be somewhat reliable, but, somebody else has got to chip in here and say, yeah, we agree with that. No one's done that yet. So when you see that floating around the Book of Faces, as the chicken lady says, see how large of a grain of salt you can take with it, because that just popped up during the break while we were talking about weather, because Facebook's not listening. So I wanted to make sure that we clarify here. It's an impressive looking graphic they've got there, and it's official. It's the 12Z Euro AIFS Ensemble member. Number 32. Sounds official. It is official. From one model. There are dozens and dozens of models. So when you see that report, don't go brush out the fur on the reindeer and get your snowshoes fitted properly. It's not quite time yet. And it's only showing for like the top third of the state that would happen. So don't want to hear it. Don't start with me about how the snow is on the way. Oh, I never rule out Murphy's Law, Mose. Murphy's Law is a universal constant. You don't believe me? Ask the folks that work in Ronnie Whittington's law office down at 5 Points. I don't know if you saw this, but last week, about a week ago, pickup truck crashed into the wall of the office, left a big hole. Now, this is not a flimsy little new construction building. That was a quintuple thick brick wall, and knocked a hole clean through it. They didn't release any detail. There are all sorts of theories about what happened, why it happened, until we get some sort of official release on that. We're not really going to know. But still, it reminds me of the building on Delaware, right there at Delaware and West, that we've had, 3, 4, 5 people drive through the front of that building over the years? It could be inattentiveness. It could be a police chase. It could be, alcohol assisted driving. It could be any number of things. We don't know. Nothing good. There is no good reason. There's nothing that you can say, even if it was a medical emergency that caused somebody to just drive straight forward into a building. That's still not good. There are no good reasons why this would happen. That building, by the way, on Delaware, I guess is just going to sit there forever. I mean, to be fair, I don't know who would want to rent it at this point. All the windows are boarded up. They put the big poles out front to protect it. People rammed into those and bent them down, so now they're ramps. You'll have a higher point of entry into the building the next person that does it. Yeah, this can be a problem. Thankfully, it's not that frequent of a problem, but still, why is it a problem? Had an event yesterday, in case you didn't hear about this. The McComb School Board rehired Betty Wilson yesterday. Now, let me explain. A year ago, last year, they terminated her. The former the former administrator, Dr. Tiffany Hicks, let her go because her position, she handled grants. She handled federal money, applying for federal money and getting it in for the school system. Well, if you recall, the McComb School District got over $1 million in federal COVID-19 funds. Now, apparently those funds could only be spent on upgrades for buildings that had students and classrooms in them. Well, that money was passed along instead and spent on other facilities. Then the school board, if you recall, this was a big deal a year ago. The school district had to then turn around and use its own money to pay for the work that had been done because that grant money could not be used for what it had been used for. Well, Dr. Hicks, let the buck stop firmly on Miss Wilson's desk and told Betty to hit the bricks, get out. Well, this has been a discussion back and forth. Yesterday, the 3 members currently on the McComb School Board, there's 2 more trustees, but we're in that weird overlap period between terms. They'll be sworn into office next week on Monday, but they held a special meeting yesterday, the 3 of them that are currently appointed to their positions on the school board, and voted to, well, they didn't really vote to hire her back. They voted that they were not accepting Dr. Hicks' recommendation to terminate Miss Wilson, and therefore, come on back. Everything's fine. Don't know exactly when she's coming back. Don't know exactly what the details are, how this is going to work. Of course, Dr. Hicks is gone. Her contract ended in June. She moved on. Wilson has not worked for the last year. The assistant superintendent in charge of federal programs. Superintendent Johnny Vick, after the meeting, after the vote, said that she's entitled to return to that job. Didn't know exactly when, but as soon as possible is the phrase that was thrown around. This, I don't care how you feel about it one way or the other. But I do have something that I don't want to get swept under the rug here, and it's the fact that the McComb School District misspent $1.4 million in federal COVID grants for purposes that they were not allowed to spend them on. There was some kind of mix-up, some kind of little goof that happened, and we don't know who did it. We don't know who ultimately it would be responsible for that. I would think before you put anything into place, no matter where the money is coming from, the board would have to vote to authorize the thing. There's plenty of room to spread the blame around instead of focusing it on one person, probably. That's usually how it works, unless you're dealing with being late with many, many audits, in which case, I could narrow it down. But anyway, Betty Wilson back as a McComb School District employee. The employee, Miss Wilson, will apparently return to her job as an assistant superintendent in charge of federal programs. That happened yesterday. That's a brand new development. Now, while we have these kind of things going on with the school district and people running through buildings just because, hey, I got a gas pedal, this is fun. I don't know. We don't know. Want to remind you of something. I bragged about this last week that the number of homicides in Jackson had dropped. It's a 32% drop from last year to this year. That's not bad. 32% drop. Jackson is still number one in America for large cities of 100,000 or more. It's narrowed down to just that group. In terms of the murder rate per capita. The homicide rate in Jackson, Mississippi, 53.03. Second place is St. Louis with 49.69. Now, it's a little deceiving because Jackson had 75 murders this past year. St. Louis had 140. But they got a lot more people that live in St. Louis than live in Jackson. You remember what we told you last week. People are leaving Jackson. The moving company, their annual survey said, yep, no, we got 65% of the people that hire our trucks are leaving Jackson. Rest of the top five, Louisville, Kentucky, Birmingham, and Memphis. Baton Rouge was 6th. New Orleans was 7th. Detroit was 8th. When you're worse than Detroit, what are you doing? But this is the 5th year in a row the city of Jackson has led in per capita homicides. Now, this is, I think, the official cutoff. What was the official cutoff here? Cities with a population of at least 130,000. That's the standard that was used. Los Angeles, perfect example. They had 313 murders in Los Angeles. They got 4 million people that live in L.A., so that put their per capita rate at 8.03. Jackson's is 53.03. That's the difference there. And it comes back to the problem we've been dealing with for quite a while. You know this. We have a crime problem. Now, we continually focus on everything but that. Legislative session starting today in Jackson. Law enforcement and crime funding, reform, additions, whatever. Wait for that to come up. We keep ignoring the elephant in the room. We talk about people leaving the state. We talk about the economy. We talk about all these other things. We want to focus on the flashy stuff. We don't want to do the actual dirty work. To me, that is one of the biggest problems we have, if not the biggest problem, and we aren't doing anything about it. And I'm judging by results. Fewer murders, but there were fewer murders this year everywhere. As a matter of fact, Birmingham, Alabama, they had a 40% decrease in homicides. Had 32 in Jackson. So yes, fewer people have gotten killed out of the fewer people that live there. When you do the math, we're still the worst place. Jackson is the worst place in America in terms of big cities for getting out alive. Now, this is for large cities. Before anybody walks forward and goes, yeah, McComb should be on that list. Where's Brookhaven? It ain't on that list. Well, they don't have 130,000 people living there, so they didn't qualify to be on the list. But we do this every year. We do this all the time. We look at the stats. We look at the numbers. And desperately try to spin it. Oh, look, we had so many fewer people killed this year. Well, yeah, there's fewer people here because all the ones that got killed last year, and a bunch of people said, nope, I'm done, and left. If you own 100 sheep and a wolf gets in the pen and kills 20 of them, just has himself a little feast. And then out of the 80 sheep you've had left, well, you take 20 of those and you send them to go stay at your brother's house. He's got big dogs and better security, and you're going to at least have something. So you take that 20 and send them over there. Then this year, wolves have only killed 10 of your sheep instead of 20. Has it improved? Killed 20 out of 100 versus 10 out of 60. That's not the improvement everybody desperately wants to make it out to be. But that's the way we do things. That's the way everything works now. Everything has to be angled. Everything has to be slanted and twisted, and make sure that we're making the point we want to make, not the actual factual point. We've got to get past that. And I'm sorry, I'm calling it out right now. I've been calling it out for a while. You know this. The biggest problem we have right now is not education. It's not retirement funds. It's crime. People getting their stuff taken. People getting shot. People getting killed. That's what we should be focused on. And as I say, we have to focus on it like a laser. You can't just throw a bone in that direction and keep arguing about the other stuff. You're not going to make any progress. If your house is on fire, you don't stop to vacuum the carpet. You focus everything you've got on putting the fire out. Nobody cares if the clean laundry has been folded and put away yet. You don't stop and go do that. You don't make sure the yard is up to code. You put the fire out. That is 100% of your focus and your efforts is getting the fire out. We are not seeing that reaction in terms of crime. Law enforcement's doing everything they can do. And I'm sorry, if you look at a law enforcement department anywhere in the state of Mississippi and they've got 40 people and you say, well, we're going to fix this. We'll authorize you to hire another 3 to 5 people. Really? House is on fire, and I realized filling up that mug of water and throwing it on it isn't doing any good, so we're going to buy you a Solo cup to go with it. That'll help. No, we have to change the laws. We have to enforce the laws. We have to crack down like you've never seen a crackdown before it clears up, before it goes away. We've had how many people in the city of McComb shot to death sitting in their car on their property? The fact that the answer isn't one shows you exactly what kind of problem we're dealing with in Pike County and Mississippi and the United States. We have to focus on that like a laser. The house is on fire. First priority. You don't stop to pay the bills. You put the fire out. And if you don't, if you take too long, what happens? Next time you open the door, everybody that lives there leaves. And then you got less people to fight the fire. This is not advanced societal / political calculus here. That is, well, we have a lot of problems. We have a lot of problems, Dave. You got to understand, we can have a lot of prior. You're not getting any of them done. That's the point. Running around like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to take care of 6 things and ignoring the one big one, the elephant that's in the room that's currently trampling the fine china. Well, that's okay. We'll get to that eventually. But, what about over here? This tile looks like it's cracking a little bit in the kitchen. We might come over here and just ignore the elephant. It's fine. We weren't using that china anyway, but come over here and look at this crack. That's how we seem to be handling things. We should put everything we've got into getting the crime problem under control. We get that under control. The flight from the state of Mississippi, from southwest Mississippi, from Pike County, lessens quite a bit. More people want to stay when they're not going to get shot and robbed. I eagerly await the rebuttal to that point that I know I will get at some point in the next day or two. This is not complicated. We overcomplicate everything. And a lot of that is because of the way the media, the national media, continually keeps everybody whipped into a frenzy. You're supposed to be angry. You're supposed to be mad 24/7. Well, this is what it leads to. I don't know if you heard this story. Savannah, Georgia. Sunday, Target parking lot. Went for a quick trip to Target. 30-year-old was arrested after he gunned down another young man, a dad. Had a wife, had 3 kids, including one little brand new baby. Gunned him down. This was not a drug deal gone wrong. This was not a gang-related piece of violence. You know what led to him getting gunned down and those 3 babies no longer having a daddy? They were arguing over a parking space in front of Target. Think about that. Process that. We have allowed ourselves to be led down the emotional path into disillusion to where people are getting killed while arguing about who gets to park there in that space. There's a whole lot full of parking spaces. Pick another one. Move on. If the other guy won't, well, what are you going to win? A nice funeral? What is the point? But we have lost the ability to discern the battles worth fighting from the battles that don't matter. We have completely lost that ability. No, we haven't lost it. It's been beaten out of us by the non-stop barrage of emotional blackmail and manipulation that everybody gets all day, every day, 24/7. Somebody wants to pitch a fit because you're trying to park in a parking space and they're trying to park in a parking space. How about before it gets to the point to where somebody gets killed, one of you be a grown-up and say, well, I'll just go park over here and drive away. We have lost the ability to walk away because we're always right. It doesn't matter what the opinion is. I will fight to the death for every single thing I believe, no matter how stupid it might be from the outside looking in. No, you got to understand. Well, you're going to be dead. Good job. I'm sorry. There are things that are worth fighting for. There are things that are not worth fighting for. There are things that are not worth running your blood pressure up over. There are things that are not worth losing your life over. And who gets to park where at Target is in that second category. This doesn't happen in a vacuum. This is a great example of what I've been telling you. Stop being easily led. Because that's what it amounts to. You're being led down the path of being upset, of being mad, of being determined that you're going to stand your ground and fight for what's right all the way to the death because I saw that parking space first. Which sounds ridiculous until you realize there are 3 little babies who don't have a daddy now over that. The mayor of Savannah, Van Johnson, after the shooting, said, and I quote, "No disagreement over a parking space or anything else should ever end in the loss of life. This needless, unnecessary violence underscores the daily pain felt by families across our city and the urgency of our collective work to reduce gun violence and strengthen community safety. No, violence. I am so tired of the term gun violence. It's violence. Period. And where does that come from? Nobody shoots someone else just because they have a gun. It's because they get mad. It's because they get worked up. And when we live in a society where there are people who literally make their living keeping you as mad and worked up as they possibly can, you're going to see stories like this over and over and over. It doesn't matter. We had 12 people injured in Texas last week in a stabbing attack. A guy had a knife. This knife violence must end. You never hear that. Everything is twisted to an end. Everything. From all sides. This is the new warfare of the 21st century, and it's for your brain and your emotional state. Has been for a while. And it leads to things like this. No one knows how to regulate their emotions, and the art of walking away from a fight not worth winning has been completely lost to a lot of people. And as a result, stupidity like this happens. You heard, I don't know if you heard, when I was doing mornings last week, I think it was Wednesday, when I had Captain Chris Turnipseed with the Highway Patrol, and I asked him the biggest problem, and honestly, when I asked him that question, what's the biggest problem you see that leads to accidents and crashes and problems on the road, I was expecting him, honestly, I thought I was leading him into a specific answer. I was expecting him to say people looking at their cell phones, because that is a problem. No. If you were listening, his response was road rage. That's the biggest problem I see, people not being able to control themselves and getting furious at the other people they're driving around. That is coming from the guy that's out there on the roads every day. It's exactly what I'm talking about. Everyone stays keyed up 24/7, 365. And if you're not keyed up, well, obviously you don't care and you're not a real American. Both sides use that, by the way. It's my favorite part of the entire thing. Sometimes the best way to win a game is to not play. I'm not saying don't stand up for things. I'm not saying for have your beliefs and fighting for them is always wrong. We have let it bleed over to where we think we have the right to be right about everything. No, that was my parking space. No, I saw it first. I'm going to park there. No, I'm going to park there. Bang, bang, bang. It's not a hypothetical. That happened 2 days ago in Savannah, Georgia. So give it a little thought and understand what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a situation where you're not as in control of your emotions as you might think you are, because other people want to control them for their own profit. If you don't know what the word semantics means, look it up. That's been weaponized. There is no parking space on planet Earth worth dying over. Sorry. Never gonna sell me on that one. You're not. The whole lot full. If the entire lot is filled, come back later. You know, when you're still alive. Keep that in mind, and maybe dial your continuous nonstop righteous indignation down from a 10 to, oh come on, a 9 would be an improvement, but let's make a big leap and take it down to an 8 or a 7. I think we would see a difference. We continue on your Tuesday morning on SuperTalk, Mississippi, Pike County. Right after this, keep it here.
Dr. Patrick Daigle is now seeing patients at Mississippi Women's OBGYN. While his location has changed from the Women's Health Center, Dr. Daigle's commitment to exceptional care remains stronger than ever. You'll find the same trusted care now at a new location within the Southwest Health Network. Dr. Daigle and Dr. James Nobles providing comprehensive women's health services at Mississippi Women's OBGYN. Same trusted care, new location, 205 Marion Avenue in McComb, or call 601-250-4275.
Every now and then, we remind all of you loving, awesome, hardworking husbands that you have a premium it's time to renew. No, it's not life insurance, car insurance, or health insurance. It's way more important than those. I'm Kristen. Gentlemen, it's time to renew those long-term wife insurance policies. When you surprise her with a gift from Selmans, you remind her that no matter what lies ahead, you and she will get through it together. Your gift tells her this long-term wife insurance policy is for life. Renew your long-term wife insurance policy right here at Selmans. We're in it for the long term with you.
Don't miss Dave in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, but just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave Hughes here. Remember, every weekday morning at 9:06, it's Dave in the Morning, where we solve the problems of the world, or at least complain about them really loudly and sarcastically. And if you miss out, you can catch up with the podcast version of Dave in the Morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. Welcome back. Of course, the furor continues over a sitting United States president authorizing the U.S. military to go into a sovereign country and basically kidnap the leader of that country to bring them back to America to answer for crimes they've been charged with. So horrible, unprecedented action. I'm, of course, talking about when George Herbert Walker Bush sent the military in to get Manuel Noriega out of Panama. It was the same exact situation, but this time is special. No. The number of people in the White House through the years who have authorized similar action without congressional approval is long. John F. Kennedy did it. Remember the Bay of Pigs? Yeah. Lyndon Johnson had the Gulf of Tonkin, Cambodia and Laos with Nixon. Jimmy Carter, if you remember, everybody thinks that one of the reasons that he lost so decisively to Ronald Reagan in 1980 was right before then. He was desperate to get the hostages out of Iran, and they put together Operation Eagle Claw, which failed dismally, sent helicopters in. Reagan, of course, did it. Desert Storm, you remember Desert Storm? The President Bush the first. Yeah, that started. We sent the troops in. Congress hadn't voted on it yet. They eventually did, but they hadn't yet. Bill Clinton did stuff. Operation Desert Fox, NATO airstrikes in Bosnia. You can go down through the list. This is not unusual. We conducted airstrikes on Iranian-backed militia groups in Syria in 2021 and 2022 under President Joe Biden. But now it's a horrible affront to the world. This is how they get you. because it's not just a game to get people worked up and on their side. It's also to keep the people that think that all of this is stupid and some folks need to shut up. Well, it's to keep them upset too. Everything is designed so that everybody is outraged at all times. The people that are on the left that think this is a horrible idea, they're outraged. They're protesting against this horrible atrocity that has been carried out. The people on the right that realize this is the way it works and it always has been are outraged that the other side is outraged. So what's the end result? Everybody is mad. Because there are no winners and losers. Have you noticed that? There are no winners and losers. Well, there are winners, not in terms of sides, in terms of which office they have in Washington. Don't miss this nuance. I keep talking about this. I realize I've talked about this quite a bit because I want to make sure you internalize this and you understand and you see exactly what is happening. To you, to me, to everybody. It is nonstop manipulation to make sure everybody is mad. And before you know it, you get gunned down arguing over a parking space at a Target in Georgia. Because once you raise that blood pressure up, if somebody's already mad all day, every day, the least little thing will set them off. Because you know what the most profitable thing is? The easiest to steer situation? Chaos. It's what a lot of folks want. Chaos. Be smarter than that. Be smarter than them. It's not a high bar you need to clear. It's really not. And another time we'll get into what I still consider to be the absolute best defense against this nonstop onslaught of manipulation. Humor, laughter. It's really hard for anyone to be taken seriously if a big bunch of the people they're trying to get that attention from are pointing at them and laughing and making jokes instead. It just doesn't work out too well for them. It is hard to anger a laughing man. I don't believe Confucius said that. He probably should have. I might need to just make that up and slip it on the internet and attribute it to him. Why not?
Closing time. Open all the doors.
I realize that might sully the pool because, there are no lies anywhere on the internet.
Closing time.
Everything is the truth. Everything is real.
Every boy and every girl.
So actually that would just blend right in. We are out of time again on this Tuesday. Tomorrow is a Wednesday. And you know what happens on Wednesday, don't you? Me either. Let's find out tomorrow morning. 9:06, we get started here on SuperTalk, Mississippi, Pike County. My friend, I'll see you then.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.